How you doing, everybody? My name is Michael Zapsik. I'm from AMC's Comic Book Man, and you're listening to I, Walter.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's I, Walter. Yes, it's I, Walter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. I, Walter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of I, Walter.
Hey, everyone, this is Walter from I, Walter. You know what? I had to do a show tonight. I was not going to do one. I was just going to skip because tomorrow I actually have an appointment in the afternoon. It's not until 1 o'clock, but that being said, let me just turn up my, so I can hear myself. Alrighty, that's much better. Now I can hear myself talk. I had to turn up my amp a little bit for myself. Yeah, what actually made me change my mind, because it's actually the end of Monday night almost. It's another hour to go on February 15th. So this is going to be, you know, my Tuesday show, because I had to go for another treatment on my, you know, hair loss. See if I can recuperate some of it. Another $50 down the drain. Anyway, I've been looking desperately because I finished Glee, and I said, oh, okay, I'm done talking about Glee for now. I got to take a swallow. I thought, you know, I was done, and it was like, you know, I'm already homesick. I was actually just started to watch last night, yesterday afternoon, actually, was that show How I Met Your Mother, which I didn't realize what that show, the premise was about. It's funny because the one kid that's on there, he was actually on Wizards of Waverly Place. It's pretty funny. I would know that. Leave it to me to know nonsense information like this. Anyway, yeah, I didn't realize the premise of the show. I thought it was about, is it Neil Patrick Harris? I thought it was all about him. I didn't realize that it's not. He's just like, he's not. He is a main character, but he is not the main character they're talking about. I'm just looking. Because I always get everything wrong. Which, ironically, Neil Patrick Harris was actually on Glee at one point. 1 or 2 episodes. I can't remember now. Anyway, I found out a while back that there was a show called The Glee Project. And it was like, yeah, I got to check this out. This is really cool, because they came to a realization, you know, the people who had founded Glee, that the actors they have gotten were ready to graduate from high school. And, you know, once they were done, they continued having them on, but it wasn't the same. I think that's when the ratings started probably changing, or just the interest changed, because, you know, you went from a show called Glee about these kids in a Glee club to these kids now being adults and moving on with their lives. And they kept the characters as much as possible. But they did one season like that, I think, for a little bit. But then they kind of came to the realization we need to find new recruits for this, you know, Glee club at this high school, this fictionary high school. I think it's called McKinley. So they started for 2 years. It went on. I'm going to go back and see if I can find that now. So I kind of got a couple things up. Yeah, you don't have to worry tonight. I'm not going to have a very long. I always say this, but I'm definitely not going to have a long. What do you call it? Program tonight. So but anyway. So they started this thing called Project Glee, which was really cool. And it lasted from 2011 to 2012, and that was it. So it wasn't on very long. So I looked it up. It was 10 episodes for the first season and 10 episodes for the second season. Basically, the best I can think of is, if you ever watched that RuPaul show, Drag Race, it's almost like the same premise, but they're not even really kids. They're like young adults trying to look the part of a teenager, trying out for a part. Now, here's the thing that kind of like really surprised me. It made me depressed and makes me think about my one friend who, wants to pursue a career in music, which music is great, but I didn't realize, he's going for my one friend's going for a different, in a different direction than these people are, because they were auditioned, and their whole purpose was, you're auditioning for a TV show that you will definitely get at least one. Well, the ones they picked actually got almost 2 years out of the show, and it was on for 6. So that's pretty, for TV, that's really good. So these were actors, off the streets like they did originally, and they were doing the whole thing all over again, but this time they actually televised it. And the show was really intense. Again, it's called the Glee Project. And I was hoping I could at least rent it or buy it, but they never released it. It was actually on Oxygen, a TV station called Oxygen. I think that's what it is, because I have them. Let me check, since I have it up. Maybe I can just start one. I'll just turn off my volume real quick, because I can't remember. Well, I actually was so desperate for this show, Project Invisual. I was willing to even, the only place that was selling it was, it's Oxygen HD, it says. I was, so desperate for this, get to watch these shows, because it kind of intrigued me, that the only place I could find it was in China or Japan. And because you can find anything over there, even if they're not technically, they're legal over there to make copies of TV shows and movies, and you can buy them. So I tried to buy it online over there, and I got shot down a couple times because my credit card said suspicious of fraud. Now, I bought things from overseas before. I bought things from Japan, China, Australia, England, some other country too. I can't remember. I got some import CD one time, and it came from some other country. None of the above. I think it was near the neighboring countries near Russia, and I've never had a problem. I've lucked out. I've really hadn't had any issues. Well, they had both seasons. Really, you could buy them for $30 or something. It's a little steep, I guess, for 2 seasons. It's not that bad. And, at least they're going to be clean copies. So when I got shot down, I had to, dispute it with my, tell my credit card company. I tried 2 different cards. Listen, this is not a fraudulent thing. This is something actually I was interested in buying. I explained to them there are certain TV shows I've done in the past, one show that was never released. I actually had to get copies of them. They were pretty decent. Was a show that got incorporated into Night Gallery after a while. It was called The Sixth Sense, with this character named Dr. Rhodes, which I might have mentioned a while back on one of my shows from a long time ago. And you can't find those anywhere. They never, ever got released. And there's actually, so I'm sorry about that, certain websites, they have television programs and movies that you will not find anywhere, but they'll make copies, and you never get in trouble for it. These are copies that you get from either a reputable company that got some way of doing it, or you just get copies that people make. They charge a couple bucks for the CDRs or DVDRs, and I've never had a problem doing that if I can't get any other way, because my old way of doing stuff, which I end up having to do, is go to that website called Kick-Ass. And I hate doing that because you always run into the problem of getting in trouble or getting your internet taken away. And I haven't had a problem. I haven't used it almost, I would guess, almost 2 years. I haven't used Kick-Ass. I've basically bought everything I want, or I'll just rent it. Didn't want to deal with that aggravation of getting caught again of illegally downloading stuff. It's just it's not even worth my effort. Now, I did break my sobriety one other time, and that was for Supergirl. I was like about a year ago, because the pilot was like, basically they were saying, oh yeah, we're making a TV show out of Supergirl. It'd be another year. And it's like, another year? Are you serious? I'm not going to wait that long. So I finally, I held out as long as I could. It was like trying to hold in an orgasm. Like eventually it was just getting too much for me. And I finally broke down. I went on Kick-Ass, like downloaded it, made sure to get rid of it. Once I was done, I just basically deleted off my hard drive completely. It's like, it doesn't even exist. Watched the show and was like, yeah, this is really good. And when it came out, though, it was like, okay, I made sure right away to, buy a season pass to watch Supergirl, because I didn't expect to be around as much as I am to watch the show live. So I ended up going, but it was like $20-$30 for the season pass. And the show was originally only supposed to be, I think season 1 was only supposed to be 12 episodes. They end up making a full season, which would be about 22 or maybe even more episodes, because the show got so popular. So anyway, I went on a, different direction, but I'm trying to avoid reading stories that, I can't be consistent on. Oh, there we go. There's an consistent on saying the words properly. So I was willing to watch. That's been on. I can't believe it did finally end. How I Met Your Mother. That was on for 9 seasons. It's only 22 minutes an episode. I figured, hey, yeah, this will keep me. And I was surprised, because there again was the many different directions you go that incorporate themselves back into Glee with actors. Neil Patrick Harris was one, and there was a character, a woman with OCD, who was a counselor in Glee, was also in one episode of How I Met Your Mother. She played a person who collected your coats at a club. She's a redheaded lady. I can't remember her name. So that was pretty weird. But anyway, before I just said it again, I know. I'm going to catch myself. It's like having that rubber band on your wrist to remind yourself, there we go again. I would be smacking my wrist again. Not to say that. So anyway, I'm looking it up now on Glee Wiki. And again, it was only 20 episodes, if even that. Now, here's the thing that was really interesting before I went on this wild verbiage goose chase on what I wanted to really say, because I have a friend who wants to get into, music, become get something in the performing arts, not as a director. I mean, not as an actor or a singer, but something maybe composing music, which is really cool. But I didn't realize how difficult it is, just entertainment in general, and get into the music business. Oh, there I go again. Music business incorporates that you have to also anymore be able to act, it seems like, at least on the end when it comes to some of these shows. So the thing about the Glee project, these people, they're not only auditioning, it's a reality, they made it into a reality show. They're not only auditioning to become a cast member of a new Glee group, realizing the other actors were getting older and they needed to, to maintain the Glee atmosphere, they had to find new actors that were young, like 19 to 22, I think was the oldest in the first season, that they needed to know how to act, they needed to know how to dance, they needed to know how to show emotion, and yes, they needed to know how to sing, because Glee is about singing. So they had to be well-rounded on what they did. Now, they started out on the first show, they said they started out auditioning. There's 3 main guys who were responsible, like the producer, the director, and the writer, and the choreographic person. I think there's like 3 main guys. They're also responsible for Scream Queens, and also, I'm not going to say that, and I just did. It was American Horror Story. So, that being said, it was interesting that these guys do, personally, they interview everybody. Well, guess how many they interviewed for the first, before they whittled it down to 10 people, ironically, no, I think it was 12 people. The first episode, I think it was about 12 people. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was 11. I thought it was 12. The first show they showed in season 1 of the Glee Project whittled down from 40,000 people. 40,000 people auditioned for the show, and it wasn't all in the U.S. because one of the people who actually ended up on the show for 2 seasons was this guy from Ireland, and he was about 19. So he made it all the way to the very end, and he was actually almost eliminated because they do that whole thing of, okay, well, we got to eliminate somebody, and he was on the chopping block almost every episode. I'm trying to figure out what his name was or remember it. Oh, okay, it was Damien McGinney. He was actually from Ireland, Northern Ireland. And I remember when I saw him on the show, the whole premise of that character that he ended up getting from being on the Glee Project was constantly being bickered and picked on. And there was a character on the show named Brittany who thought he was a leprechaun, the character that he played, that he was a leprechaun, and that he had to grant her 3 wishes. I mean, they busted on the guy constantly. And he was like always on the Glee Project. He was always ready to be eliminated, but he somehow survived. And he ended up on the final person to be picked for the TV show. So that was just amazing. Out of 40,000 people, now he's from Ireland. So like I said, these people are from all around, not only just the U.S., but there was the one guy from Ireland, and I'm sure there was probably other people out of that 40,000 initially. So out of 40,000 people, the first show had 12 people that were left, and they went through each and every one of them in every different way, on their talent, how they could show themselves. Now, the one that made me like, okay, I really got to do a show tonight was the 3rd episode. When I saw that, I just almost broke down because it was so emotional. It was so filled with emotion for a reality show, picking these people. It was called Vulnerability. That one was just amazing. Now, you got to remember, out of 40,000 people, they had 12 people left. And those 12 people were the best of the best of the best. I mean, these were the top-notch people. So, and I've kind of experienced that myself years ago. Me and a friend, Linda Young, we used to go up to New York, especially when I got out of college. I did a little bit before then. We would, and I was horrible. I was really bad. I mean, I'm not any better. I'm even worse. But we used to go on open auditions. One time, a friend of mine, actually, after I got picked for an open audition, I was an extra on VH1 for this show that never made it on the air. It was with Pauly Shore. It was called, it was Cover This. I think it was called Cover This. So me and a friend, we were extras, audience members. We got picked for that. And a friend went up with me, and basically they gave you pretty much free cocktails, and you had to wait to see him get in just to be an extra audience member, because even audience members have to be auditioned. And this was up in New York. But I went on a couple open auditions with my friend Linda. She would drive up to New York. That's why I would do them. And I would try out, but I was horrible. And trust me, it was very painful because they are, when you go to these open auditions, they are brutally honest with you. They don't hold back. If you're doing it, like I think I've even done in the past for modeling in New York and stuff, and they will rip you to shreds. If you're doing it for a commercial, for some type of modeling thing, or even any type of audition. Now, the one that I actually got picked for, just as an audience member, was for MTV. I never really pushed it too far. I should have pushed it further when I was younger, because I had some, they did call me constantly to come back. They actually wanted me to come back for an MTV special. I remember this. I got a call on my phone, and I didn't pay attention to it, for a special they were doing on MTV, doing a parody on Moulin Rouge, and they wanted me to come up as an audience member for that. And I was like, I didn't hear it. I didn't pay attention to it, so I kind of was already too late by the time I figured out, oh, wait, they wanted me to come back to New York again. Because basically I also lied. I said I'm only an hour away from New York, which I'm actually probably close to 3 hours away from New York, give or take. Depends how you go up there. It's at least 2, So I know that feeling of going through an audition. So this, to me, almost hit a heartstring in that way, too. Seeing these people, like, suffer. And these people are like, really talented. When you whittle down from 40,000 people down to 12, that means a lot. And that means, like, you're down to the marrow. Like, you can't get any tighter than 12 people. And out of those 12 people, by the end, I think, of the first season, I don't know if it was the second season, I really couldn't tell you, they only picked 3 people that ended up on the show. Actually, out of 2 seasons, I think they only picked 3 people that I know of for a fact. So I can't, 3 people at least for the first season. I shouldn't say that factually yet. And you know what? I got to apologize, too, because I thought I was right. There was this actress who played a character on Glee. She looked like a man, really. And I don't mean it to be offensive. She was a main character for many seasons. And her name was, I'm just trying to remember this now. She was called the Beast. And Coach Beast. So I thought she was a transgender. And here apparently, there I go with them again. She picks, she was asked to come on to pick somebody, each week they got somebody from the show, a cast member, to help judge who would be the next Glee member on the TV show, and she got to do one, the actress. Her name's Dot something. No, she was always a woman, and I felt really bad for thinking that way. So I'm going to look her up. I'm just doing the simple way. Yep, it came right up. Dot Jones. So for some reason, and you could tell she was definitely a woman when you've seen her, without her they made her on the show look very masculine. She is a very masculine looking woman to begin with, but she looks even more so on the show. They deliberately kind of made the masculinity, I'm sorry about that. I said it again. But yeah, when you actually see her, yeah, she was a woman, and I apologize for that, because she was a great character on the show. I liked her. Again, she played this character, Coach Beast, and she did one of them. So, yeah, I'm trying to think the ones who made it. Damian McGinney was one of them. Samuel Larson was another one. Lindsay Pierce, they said there was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that won parts. It was, again, Damian McKinney. He actually became a regular cast member for 2 years. I'm looking at it again because, no, I didn't mean to say it. I said it, but I didn't mean to. They're saying this guy, Samuel Larson, won. I'm thinking he's 24, I guess now. But I'm wondering, there was a guy with dreadlocks. I think that might have been Samuel. He cut him off. He was from California. Oh, I didn't know that. They said Lindsay Pierce. She was on season 1. I guess she must have made it. They said she was a runner-up. And Alex Newell, he actually did make it. He's 23. And he's gay in real life, but he's a transsexual? He's not a transgender. He dresses in drag, and in real life he does sing and sound like a woman. Great actor. He was actually one of my favorite actors when they brought him aboard. Oh, I didn't know that. They said his father died from cancer. This poor guy is like, his whole life has just been a living hell in real life too. So I know Alex got picked. This guy Damian did. And I guess Samuel Larson, because he might have been the guy, I didn't recognize him. Must be the guy with the dreadlocks. He did. He cut them all off. He changed his look. He actually did it towards the very last season they brought him back. Now, he was one that was on the chopping block quite a few times. But he actually made it to be on the show for the 2 seasons. Well, I said it again. I know. I just caught myself. But that's amazing. 3 of the actors not only won, but they actually ended up on the show for at least 1 solid season, almost 2. So out of 40,000 people that they interviewed, and they got other actors elsewhere, I would think. I don't know. Maybe they actually got them on the second season because I just started watching it. But out of 40,000 people, 3 of them actually made it onto Glee. They were saying actually 4 did off this Glee project. And so they were looking for a new group of people to play on Glee, and out of 40,000, they picked 3. So that says a lot. They mentioned that they actually picked 4, but I would think I would have known that because I've watched all the episodes, and only 3 of them really stand out. 3 of the characters just stood out, and the thing is, why I mentioned this, why I'm making a show out of this, the Glee Project now, was because they were all incredible people. They were like really, really good, and it just that one I just mentioned, that one show I mentioned, that just made me say I got to do a show on this. Which I should pull it up again. I think I actually set it down to. That one was the one that just made me like when I was watching it. It not only tore me apart, but it was like, these people were told to expose, and they actually made a Glee episode out of this. So they got ideas for the show by doing this reality thing, trying to look for new cast members. And it was basically exposing your innermost fear and wearing it on I'm trying to think, on a cardboard thing, and exposing your innermost, deepest fear. And it was watching it, though. Let me see if I can find this again. Just tore me apart as much as it tore these people apart on the show. So I'm trying to look for the name of it again. That he's up. Was open. Excuse me, though. Okay. Yeah, vulnerability. That one just like, okay, after I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going any further with this show for now. And each show is as long as the TV show was. Each reality, I thought they were going to be like half-hour episodes. They're actually an hour show. They were like 42 minutes, which is about normal for an hour show because the rest is all commercials. So I would recommend, if you can get those. Unfortunately, the way I got them is not the best way. And I am willing, I would like to write Oxygen and to say, listen, can you release this show? Because I will buy it. I mean, it is just that good. It's that damn fucking good. Sorry, just had to take another swallow. But again, it was on from 2011 to 2012. It ran for 2 seasons. They were going to try to run it for a 3rd season, and then for some reason it just, according to this, its popularity, it dropped quite a bit. I don't understand why, because the show, at least from what I've seen from the first season, it is incredible. It is very intense. Now, there must have been other people, because I'm looking at it now, and like I said, everyone was talented. It must have been the 2nd season. There's a girl that's actually in an episode. She's really cute. She's this little cute blonde girl, and she's in a wheelchair. And I know the episode. I saw these episodes, but I haven't seen the Glee Project, and it looks like she was on the 2nd season, because I know she's not on the 1st. So, yeah, there was other people that were picked. I thought they said there was about 7 people they picked out of 40,000 people that ended up somewhere on the show. Maybe not as a main character, but somewhere in the background doing something. And I'm telling you, these people were all incredibly talented. So, not just a little bit, they were very talented. So it just, every time they had to eliminate somebody, it broke my heart for these people. It's like, you people are just amazing. And, yeah, I guess I didn't know that. Blake Jenner, he's actually married to Melissa, who plays the actress who plays Supergirl. He was actually one on the Glee project, I guess. I didn't know that. And this other girl was really cute, cute blonde girl. She was in one or two episodes of the TV show Glee. Now, one other thing that made me say I had to watch the show The Glee Project. There's reasons why it just really caught my attention. And I was watching to make sure after I downloaded them. I just did it last night. There was this one girl. It just broke my heart because she was really cute, but she had burn scars over 3/4 of her body, and she said, it happened, I think, when she was in college or something. Her passion was to become an entertainer, to win on this Glee project so she could get on the Glee show. And just looking at the girl, she could sing. She was really good. But the thing that really just got to me, it was this girl has so much to live for. And, she actually, they asked her about it too, because she couldn't help but see she had scars, burn scars, that were healed as best as they can get. You could see it on her chest, half her forehead, her face was completely burnt. Not complete, now that is my word because I can't use the other one. But I saw that it was why didn't some of these people like her and some of these other actors from the Glee project, why didn't they make it? Because that's got to be personally, I think it's the most difficult thing to decide on. You got these people, and out of 40,000 people, there was more than 12 people, I would assume, I would almost guarantee you, that were very talented. But they had to wean it down, and they weaned it down to, again, probably 3 that I know of that actually ended up on the TV show. And out of that 3, maybe a couple other ones got some other parts on the show. So that just blows my mind. And how this fits in with my friend, when you go out there to try to do something, your competition, you realize that you're competing against a large amount of people, but you really can't imagine what amount of people that you are competing with. And after watching so far, not all of them, I only watched 3 of them, I've already came to the realization it was almost like a depression for me to see that these people are extremely talented. I mean, they are seeping in talent, and yet they have to decide, and they don't have a problem doing it. These director, producers, choreographers, they don't have a problem eliminating somebody. And the one guy even said, the main guy who makes these shows, he says, well, I know, with the one person he had to eliminate, he says, I know I'll be able to sleep tonight after my decision, even though it was a tough one. And that was an understatement. That was an understatement because it was beyond tough. I could not do that. I'd every week the show would last forever of not eliminating anybody, because trust me, these people were really over the top talented. I mean, not just a little bit. They were really good. Not even remotely close to what kind of talent I've seen before, or in areas around here. So that's got to be really tough, and I think that's what's already got me addicted to the show. So if you ever find it, hey, let me know. If you do find decent copies, because mine are really crappy. Actually, my Star Wars limited edition laptop, I threw them on, or actually I'm using that as a hub from my main computer, and then I'm feeding that to my TV set through an HDMI cable, and I'm watching them that way. So, but it still looks like total crap, because you're talking 300 meg rips of a TV show that's an hour long a pop. Now, years ago when I had started out doing that crap, the stuff I used to watch it on was like a 20-inch monitor or something like that, or a TV set that was 22 inches. Now I'm watching it on a 42-inch TV set, and when you watch these kind of rips, they look like total dog crap. But if I can find decent copies, I will be buying them, because I really recommend that. So anyway, I'm going to keep it at that. I think I'm probably going to get like a 30, 40-minute show for once, not something that's like 10 hours. So that's good. Hey, by the way, what am I wearing? What are you wearing? Well, you know what I'm wearing today? I'm wearing my Kevin Smith hockey jersey that says Fat Man on there with the 37 and Kevin Smith's name on the back. It's one that he was known for wearing quite a bit, so I'm using it as my lucky charm today. And I got it on my birthday, and which was really cool. And I haven't worn it yet, but I'm wearing it today. And actually, these jerseys are really warm, too, because I think they're pretty much like a polyester, or something, because they don't, like real polyester, you can't even put in the dryer. It just would basically clump together. It would melt. But it's something like that. And in the summertime, these hockey jerseys are extremely hot. You're going to sweat like a freaking dog. But, you know, what are hockey jerseys meant for? They're meant to be on the ice when you're playing hockey. So having temperatures at like 15 degrees, these things are perfect. And I got a couple of hockey jerseys. I should start wearing them because they are definitely great insulators to wear. Anyway, I just found out today, this is cool because down in Oaks, from where I live, they have what's called the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con. And one year I bought a ticket because I had this Love Jones for this one actress who was on one of these shows. I think it was on Even Stevens. And I end up totally forgetting about it. I bought a ticket just to see her, and I totally forgot to go. And it was right down the street. And it was like, I can't believe I just did that. I bought a ticket to see some girl and get a photo with her autograph, say, hey, you're really cool, I like you a lot. And right down the street from where I live, right down the street, and I forgot to go. So this year, they got a bunch of different people that it's grown from when they originally started. Again, it's right down the street. I don't have to go down to Philly. I don't have to rent a motel room or a hotel room. It's perfect. So one person I wouldn't mind seeing is John Wesley Shipp, who played in the series The Flash back, I think, in the 80s. And I really liked him. So my friend's been picking on me about it. It's like, do you know the guy's gay? It's like, I don't care. The guy's like a cool dude. I don't give two craps what his personal preference is. The guy, I want to definitely meet him. So I'm trying to see who else, please, is going to be there, because there's a lot of people that I don't know. A lot of people from that I really don't care about, but from the Power Rangers, which has been on for like decades. So they've always changed the characters. I don't even know most of the people. They're like probably in their 40s, because the first couple generations of Power Rangers, which I remember watching when I was in high school. I used to come home, and the one Pink Ranger was pretty cute. I used to like her. I don't even know her name anymore because they changed it like several times. The actors playing these characters, because it's been on for decades and really popular. It's still really popular. So they got all these characters from that. They got the guy who played Mr. McFeely, David Newell, from Mr. Rogers. He's going to be there. I don't know why, but he's going to be there. And another person I always had a Love Jones with growing up, and I loved her on Star Trek. I think it was Generations. And she was in Pet Sematary. I really had wet dreams about her, as Denise Crosby. She's going to be there. She's going to be right down the street from where I live. Now, there's this guy named Tim Rose. He played in Star Wars. He plays that fish character. And my one friend always makes jokes on putting up this character's picture. Not the actor, but the character from Star Wars. He's the character. Again, he looks literally like a fish head. And in the original Star Wars movie, he was the character goes, "It's a trap." So a friend will always get the fish head guy and say, where it has it underneath, it says, "It's a trap." Well, he's going to be down here in Oaks. So, and anybody who ever watched Good Time Burger, that was a Nickelodeon. It's like one of the first shows on Nickelodeon. Those two guys who played in Burger Time, they're going to be down there. Those guys I really could care less about. They're cool, but not my cup of tea. Again, most of these actors who played in the Power Rangers over the past couple decades could really care less about. Girls are always really cute, though. And, yeah, there I go again. But, yeah, the people I would pay to go see, actually, there's another one. I can't say her name, but she was the chick who did not look too hot. She was the British chick that was playing on the first, what was it? Generations? Martina Sirtis or something? Like, they always said, oh, yeah, I can't say her name right. She played on the one that, Star Trek Next Generation. They always said, oh, yeah, she's, like, really hot. I was like, I don't see it. The woman did not look that hot on Generation. They said, oh, they downplayed her looks. But she is really, really hot. And I can't explain which part she played. I'm trying to even look for what she played in Star Trek Next Generation. Well, she's going to be out here, too. She's going to be right down the... Oh, she played Troy on Next Generation. Yeah, she is... She is incredibly hot, and she's going to be in Oaks. So, there you go. I know I slipped that one out. But, again, my top pick for who I'd really like to see that I would give some cash out to see is John Wesley Shipp, who played The Flash back in the 80s. Also, well, not Mr. McFeely, but Denise Crosby, yeah. I mean, I lost a lot of... I made a lot of tissue donations on her, trust me. I just really loved her. No, I wouldn't lose my composure if I saw her, but I'm just saying, I know back in the day, she definitely did it for me. I thought there was a third person. Maybe it was only those two then. I thought there was somebody else. But, again, this is like just right down the street from where I live. It might have been the Troy from Star Trek Generations because it'd just be kind of cool to see her. I never really could care less. I try to watch Generations. Never really got into it, but she is really hot. And I've done that before. If there's an older woman who's hot that's an actress, I'm all over that like flies on shit. I'm sorry, I really am. So, you know what? I really like to know because I'm going to look probably right now to see how much since the holiday is over now because it was President's Day for the next couple of minutes. How much Deadpool made. So I'm doing that right now. If I can do it right. 12 hours ago, weekend box office, Ryan Reynolds, you can have a superhero franchise. So now they got it down to, well, I didn't mean to say that 12 hours ago. Because it made over $260 million. Oh, excuse me. And they didn't expect it to make it that much. But it actually... It's hard to tell. You're probably not going to know until next weekend. Oh, wow. Yeah, it made much more money. They expected to only make like $65 million. It made Deadpool box office. It's a record-crushing $3 million worldwide. So it made 1 trillion times more money, much more money than they expected. It made over $300 million. I think I said $3 million. No, it made over $300 million worldwide. That is amazing. Now, this was a movie that was rated R. That's the whole thing. Here we go. It says in Forbes, Deadpool box office. It's a record-crushing $300 million worldwide debut because they added Monday on because it was a holiday technically. So, again, you're talking I should put that up. You're talking about a rated R superhero movie that, compared to most of these high-end superhero movies that cost 3 times the amount this movie cost, made $300 million within like 5 days. Let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days. So that is incredible. That is incredible. $300 million. I keep on saying $3 million. So anyway, I think I've said my piece. So I may just let it go at that, because why ruin it with me opening my mouth and saying stuff that just doesn't make any sense, even more so than it doesn't make sense now. So everyone, I hope you enjoy my show. I got it down to I think 50 minutes, maybe not even. But hey, you know what? I thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you enjoy my show. Hope you watch whatever awards were on tonight, too. I can't remember which ones. So that's really cool. Glee Project is definitely something for people to watch. I think it's incredible. I recommend it to everyone if you can find it. I never knew it was on. It's actually been off now for 5 years, or it started 5 years ago. But the last season was 2012. So what is that? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's been 4 years ago that it was off, but it's been 5 years that when it originally started. Thanks again. Thank you for listening to I, Walter. Hope you enjoy the show. And if you do, please just tell other people to tune in to me. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.